What's up, Queens? You're listening to Black Queens Uncut. Grab your wine, your vapes, or whatever to relax because we're about to have some queen chat. And today we're talking about cannabis because it is 420 week. Should it be 420 month? I don't know. I think we should celebrate the whole month. But I'm Anique Loveless. Queens, introduce yourselves.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Kiki Boom Boom.
Hey, Queens. It's your girl, Miss Candy Marie.
Hey, guys. It's TK Trinidad.
So this is 420 this week, and we are celebrating cannabis, weed, edibles,
Mary Jane,
terpenes,
marijuana,
vapes,
ganja.
whatever you like. Yeah, ganja, which is the same as like what flower. Ladies, do you partake? Are you a smoker? Are you an edible eater? Are you a 420 participant?
I am a 420 ally, which means I do not smoke anymore. I used to smoke a lot.
When this stopped this week?
You funny.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn. Let me finish what I was going to say. I do not smoke like I used to. The only times I do smoke, for those who don't know, I suffer really bad from period cramps. My family, we all have like ovarian issues. So I do smoke around my period. That's the only time I smoke. I just got bored of it. I started it when I was like 12. I'm now 34. I've learned how to make edibles. I can make any edible you want.
Oh,
so I am an ally. I support
you?
my friends. Yes, baby. That's something I learned in college. I just don't smoke anymore, but I don't judge those who do. Do with you because I still smoke on my period. And I had a situation where I almost died at Coachella a few years ago. So from some very strong, So that's one of the reasons why I really don't anymore. Because it scared me and I've never been scared like that
scary.
in my life.
Yeah, it's
So
scary.
I fell back from, but I am a 420 ally.
She'll be back next year, guys.
Wow. All right, then.
Candy, are you a 420 participant?
You know, I enjoy puff passing from time to time. I have to admit, I don't really buy marijuana. I'm not a big fan and spend like a hell of money on it. But I do puff pass from time to time. I do. I enjoy it thoroughly. Sativa, if anybody wants to give me any sativa, I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'll take it.
And TK?
No.
Oh, the hateration.
It's not hate. It's just like I've never been into it. And I want to say because I'm an athlete, but I know a lot of athletes who smoke too. I've never been into it. I've always been, and it's to the point too where people, I guess, know my vibe that they don't even like because I'm in settings with it and they don't even ask. It's
Right.
like my vibe just gives off. Yeah, she's not about that life.
Right.
I have. Over the years, but it's only with very particular situations and with very particular individuals. But just to be out there, that's just not my thing.
Well, ladies, geez.
The big weed
I'm the
smoker of the
nigga
crew.
of the group.
Oh, my.
I
was a
Hey,
hard
I'm an ally.
ER.
I said nigga.
Ugh.
I never do ER.
You didn't do the
honey.
hard ER?
No, I never do ER. I am a 420 smoker. I buy it. I partake. I go to events. I go to tent sales. I try all the new stuff. I was supposed to actually start a cannabis situation, which is put on the side, but I'm a very high-strung person, so I've been kind of smoking since I was 15, but I really got into it just like maybe like a couple puffs every night now, but I don't have to have it all the time, so it's not like I have an addictive personality.
Right.
Like it's like when I get sick, I don't smoke. When I, am really busy, I'm not really smoking like that. I don't smoke while I'm working. That is just something a sister cannot do. And I don't vape. I don't like to vape. I really don't like edibles. I will get me an organic cone. Shout out to Raw whenever y'all want to sponsor us. So I just take a couple of puffs to kind of like calm me down because I'm very like, I'm always on the go. I have a lot to do. So I'm always like, okay, at the end of the night, I need to just chill out. So yeah, I do like to partake, and I will
There's nothing
partake.
wrong with that.
on 420, honey.
So will I. I said I'm an ally. I'm one of those people, when you're like,
I told y'all it started back this week.
No. I, again, I do it for my period now. Also, I work overnights now. So I have insomnia, so it's hard for me to sleep. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who partake, and my roommate partakes. So sometimes it's a little easier for me just to take a puff or two to go to sleep. But I don't do it like I used to. Like I can't anymore. 'Cause
Yeah.
it really fucked me up a while ago.
Oh, I've had an experience like that too, where literally my friend challenged me. He was like, "Oh, they're out there smoking. If it was left up to me, we'd be smoking too." So I was like, "Oh, okay, he's challenging me. So we about to go smoke." Come to find out, I really believe it was laced.
Ooh.
And we sat, I don't know how long we sat there, but we sat at 7-Eleven for a really long time. I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital, but I couldn't drive myself. And literally I slept in my car that night because I could not leave. And my friend was writing his note saying that, if he dies, that it was a really bad
What?
experience. Yeah, it was really scary. It was very scary. But, after that, I have stipulations now, but I still, partake. It took a minute, though. So I get what you're saying. It took a minute.
Yeah, mine's it's a crazy story. I gotta tell y'all one day.
Yeah.
I
we
had
gotta.
I was doing a show, a wrestling show. Shout out to X-Pac 12360. So we got sponsored by this edible company.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and we got edible like jelly bean or not.
She wasn't trying to give her bag away. I was like, "You're not even."
No, that was another one. I gave away that stuff because of this particular experience. So we got edible like jujus. And so I just so happened to be getting my hair braided like the next week, and I had it in my purse. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'll just get to make the time pass, and I didn't realize that there's percentages.
Yes.
Had no idea because this is how.
Did you take the whole thing?
I popped the whole thing in my mouth, and literally within probably she might have been like the base of my head. And I just started not feeling well. And I was so embarrassed. She's probably going to hear this. But I was so embarrassed. I couldn't tell her that. Like, I popped it. Like, I was like, I need to lay down. Because I didn't know. I legitimately didn't have experience with marijuana or edibles at all. So I was like, I need to lay down. And then the room started spinning. Then I started seeing stars. And it just so happened that a friend of mine lived in that area. And he so happened to call because I wanted to drive home. And she's like, you can't drive home. And I'm like, no, but I could drive. She's like, you can't drive home. So it just so happened he called and he picked me up and I crashed at his house and then he dropped me back to get my hair braided. But it was just like, it was the worst situation ever.
Have we experienced, or what are some of the stigmas that we as Black women face as 420 friendly people?
I think that now with the advent of, marijuana becoming legal in certain states, there's still that stigma where, if you are not Black, it's okay to have a business and it's a business and you do it for health reasons. But if you are Black, and in particular if you're a woman, it's like it's still looked on as negatively.
Right.
Like it's still to me, just looking from the outside, it still appears that it's still a negative connotation if you're a Black woman smoking.
I definitely agree because when I was starting my company, we actually went to the MJ BizCon, which is the marijuana conference. A lot of people were there. John Sally, Kelsey Grammer. Everybody was pretty much
Shout out
there.
to John Sally. I think he has a marijuana business. He can supply.
Yeah, High Times. He's a part of investing in High Times. So we pretty much got to meet everybody. But look around the room, and we were the only 2 Black women that we could really find. And we had a day where there was actually a couple of other Black women who were there. And it was nice to see. And I was just like, oh, my gosh, it's nice to see. But we were not well represented whatsoever. And I mean, I have never, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm used to going to like urban conferences and stuff. But these people were like dressed to the nines. They had on their suits, their high heels, their Christian Louis Vuittons to the conference. Remind you, this is like all day. To the conference. So I definitely feel like we're not being represented. I also feel like there's still a stigma on us as well, just not even us as Black women, but also Black men. Like now that it's being legalized, these people are making businesses and stuff out of it. When are we going to start getting the incarceration stuff together?
So like there's a stat here from the ALCU. It said 8.2 million marijuana arrests between 2000 and 2010. 88% of them were simply for having marijuana. And some of them, majority of them are still in jail. And with this current administration, I don't think they're going to get out of jail, just because these new laws for everything is crazy. But that's one of those problems, though. It's like you have people who got arrested for not even having a selling amount, for just having a personal amount that they're in jail for, and now you have people like Billy Ray Cyrus's wife having a closet full of marijuana and selling that. It's crazy. And I think Netflix had I think it was either last year on 420, they had a show on marijuana where they went to a conference and they asked a white guy about it, and he's like, well, Black people just don't know how to manage it. That's why they're still in jail. Like, we're better business people. And it was just kind of like the way he said it, he honestly believed that. So, it's one of those things where, I don't know, this world is not necessarily made for us.
Yeah.
In that sense.
I was gonna say also, according to the ALCU marijuana chart, it says Blacks are 3 to 73 times more likely to be arrested than white people. That's kind of been my issue with it, like, because I've been smoking for a really long time and I stopped, and that's why living in LA, I'm not really like a big fan of going to dispensaries, because sometimes I'm like, damn, there's so many Black people incarcerated, and even though it's legal, Black people are still being arrested for it. Where someone in Wyoming opens up a goddamn dispensary, and it's cute, and there's an Instagram page for making edibles
in their purses.
And I mean, listen, I have CBD oil for face serums and CBD face masks. So sometimes I do have an issue going to certain dispensaries, because I'm like, damn, there's so many of us still locked up or getting locked up. We need to be out of jail.
Right.
So sometimes I don't like really supporting dispensaries. So that's where I'm like in a little tough place, and that's why I don't really smoke as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Because I just want all of our people to be out. Like, we should all be released if this is a whole thing. Like there's conferences and you can go to like a goddamn weed playground. Black people need to be released from jail.
Right. That's
who have been
true.
arrested for marijuana.
Right. Netflix needs to make a docuseries on that. Come on now. Candy, what do you think?
I agree. I think that our government, i.e. white folks, had to find a reason to make money off of it first. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, as we talk about mass incarceration of Black men, I think that was an easy way to kind of add to that point, in my opinion. I think that also when it comes to smoking marijuana, it definitely has to be done in moderation. I know that there are also a lot of negative benefits to it as well, like memory loss or delayed, reaction to things. And that's something that I've experienced, where I can't think of my thoughts. And then I take some time away from smoking. Not that I smoke a lot, but say I take like a month off and my memory is much more crisp. And it's not as delayed. Also, what a lot of people don't know is when it comes to your aging process in your skin, that marijuana or just smoking, whether it's marijuana or cigarettes or tobacco or whatever, it can help. It decreases the volume in your face. So that's another thing. So it'll have you looking older before you're supposed to look older.
Listen.
And these are things that a lot of people don't talk about. Because they just don't know unless you do the research, So for me, like I've definitely slowed down. Not that I was ever a heavy smoker, but when I started to see things change within me, I was like, nah, I gotta fall back just a little bit, because it started to become like, okay, when I get off work, man, I'm gonna go home and smoke a little bit. I need to relax, or I got a lot on my mind, because marijuana is also a depressant. So if you're in a depressed mood, sometimes marijuana, it might numb the feeling, but, it could also make you even more depressed. So, again, these are conversations that, like, we're not having that we really should be having.
I was looking at this statistic on Refinery 29 where they said Black and Hispanic people, over the last 3 years in New York City, Black and Hispanic people were arrested on low-level marijuana charges as much as 15 times the rate of white. Non-Hispanic people, harsh sentences have left those individuals serving life sentences without parole over a dime bag.
Yeah.
That's crazy. A dime bag.
Listen,
Like,
I know everybody voted last month, but fuck Mike Bloomberg.
Oh my God, please vote.
And as a New Yorker, I say that because of the whole stop and frisk and how it was geared towards Black and brown people and catching them with small dime bags.
What
I'm
are
a
you
New
talking
Yorker.
about? He wishes that more white people got stopped.
So as a New Yorker, I say this with pride.
Yes.
Fuck Mike Bloomberg. Sorry, just had to
she
throw
said
that in there.
it. She said it right here.
Hope you guys all voted last month.
I just feel like I do partake, and that was another reason why I wanted to start a business in the industry, because I did start to see a lot of Black women actually taking part in the business part of it, which is really cool because our entrepreneurship is going up. So being able to partake as a Black woman and being able to show that is very important, I feel like. And it also, I feel like that'll start moving the needle for them for like lawyers and things like that to start getting the people with the dime bags and things like that out of jail, out of prison.
Here's the problem. Maybe you can speak to it, you know, as far as dabbling in the business. With doing business in cannabis, there has to be approval. It's not like you can, you know, open up a business in, you know, whatever, and there's no, like, you know, hierarchy factor. With the approval, there's so many approvals that are getting denied just based off of location and based off of, you know, who you are, that, like, it's just already seemed very controlled by the government. That is like, are we going to actually get ahead of that? Because it's like, you know, yes, you have all these people who are in jail for it. That means that we already knew that there's some aspects and some benefits to smoking marijuana. Right?
Well, we already have, and this is, let me tell you, I'm excited about this because we already have the two women who Kim Kardashian is taking the glory for because she just threw the money on top of it. But the two women who got Alice out of prison were Black. They were two Black lawyers. Jay-Z just announced how the NFL has put $100 million towards getting people unincarcerated. So I feel like we are moving the needle forward to make that happen. I feel like we do need to move the needle forward in that direction as well because this is such a big topic. I feel like so many stigmas are on top of it. Not only just Black men and Hispanic men for incarceration for it, but also a lot of the times what a lot of people don't know too with marijuana is, and I learned this as well, a lot of people don't like to say this, but pregnant mothers or mothers, period. Pregnant mothers, when they're in stages of about to lose their kid because they can't keep down food and stuff, sometimes they dab in marijuana and a stigma is put on that because it's the only way to help them keep food down and to get them over that line of not losing their child. So there are benefits to it. I definitely feel like there's always downsides to some things, but there are benefits to it. And there are times where I feel like we have to stand up as a people as well and see what we can do in our own communities as well.
Yes. I do want to just read you guys a quick stat. There's a chart of the week. It's a breakdown of marijuana business owners found by race. 81% white people have the marijuana business. 6.7% other. 5.7 Hispanic, and 4.3 African American, 2.4 Asian, which is crazy because 80% of the owners are white. And then it goes all the way back down to like 4%, which are African American. I will say, as I told you guys, I don't really smoke anymore, but Whoopi Goldberg started a cannabis line for women with cramps. And she started all these creams and lotions. And
it's got chocolate.
Yes, for women who suffer from bad periods and stuff like that. So I love to see that aspect of the business as well, like Monique said. And I love to see especially a Black woman, Whoopi Goldberg, doing it. And I would love to see more Black women get into the business side. Or just Black people. I would love to see us all get out of jail for marijuana. And I would love to see us all be able to be part of the business side of it, because there are a lot of perks. A lot of people use it for medical reasons and things like that. So
it does take some time, but if we all chip in and do it, we could push the needle forward as far as stigmas, as far as like getting them out of jail, the people who don't deserve it, and just all the above. Black women owning more of the businesses. Following Black enterprise is a good way too, because they do update a lot about our people being in the business. Because most of the time when you called the weed man back in the day, your weed man was Black.
Hey, shout out to the weed man.
Shout out to the weed
He
man.
needs to be put back into business.
We do got the NBC Los Angeles says, which is a headline that says, "Goodbye old pot charges. California program to erase old marijuana conviction."
Okay.
And this was just updated on September the 8th, 2019. So I feel like Los Angeles, even though Colorado has a big thing, I feel like Los Angeles is the leading factor of marijuana, because it was always kind of decriminalized anyway here. And now it's to the point where now it's legalized. They pushed it to where I think you can walk through, I'm pretty certain you can walk through the airport with at least 8 ounces. They don't say what's going to happen on the other side, so y'all better catch y'all's own, you know.
It depends on the
Don't do
state
that.
you're flying to.
Yeah, so I think we are a leading factor in doing and making those changes. But hey, it takes somewhere to start, right? So what do y'all think the future for Black women is in marijuana?
I think it's going to get brighter, only because, like you said, Black women, we're the number one entrepreneurs right now. And even with the fact of, like, there's natural, like, maybe CBD tampons and pads and medicine and creams, like Whoopi Goldberg started. So I think if more women get in tune, especially Black women, I think that it's going to be high for us, because Black women, we're killing it right now.
Right.
We always have been killing it, but right now, business-wise, we are killing it.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
definitely agree with the advent of the CBD and adding it to different products. Like, I also got like samples of like face wash and cleansers and all that's infused with CBD. We're also I have a cocoa butter line where we're actually considering doing one with it's infused with CBD as well. So it's like it's a big business. I'm just really hoping that the government doesn't put. They're going to put obstacles in our way, because that's just what they've been doing for centuries. But I hope that the obstacles are not so, catastrophic that it stops us and hinders us from, making money.
Right. Agreed. Candy, last thoughts on that?
But no, I was saying that I think more and more Black women are owning the fact that they actually smoke. Like, I know myself, like, for the longest, I felt like I couldn't be open about it. And I'm starting to see more women that I'm also surprised by on social media starting to post. And I'm like, oh, she smoked too. Oh, that's what's up. That's cool.
Yeah.
So more Black women are owning it.
So, yes, ladies, we're celebrating 420.
We selling? We got something?
Do we have something? Are we
Black
selling?
Queens Uncut.
Black Queens Uncut something? No, we're not selling yet. But that wraps up our cannabis episode. And happy 420 to all of you queens. Let them know where they can find you.
Yes, feel free to send me some edibles at Kiki Boom Boom.
Now she asking for edibles.
Yeah, I'll check some edibles too, guys. It's Miss Candy Marie. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Candy Marie.
I don't want any of those edibles. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
I'll take anything you got as long as it ain't laced. Everywhere at It's Monique Loveless, and make sure you drop them in our DMs too at Queens Uncut on all social media platforms, and make sure you check out our next episode next Wednesday. And if you haven't caught up, catch up now. Smoke some, get your edible, catch up on all of our episodes, because trust, it's going to be entertaining while you're high. And thank you, queens.
Bye.
Ciao.